Hello to your faces. Welcome back. We are back with influencer Clavicular SHOCKS Logan Paul with extreme penis enhancement technique after bone smashing. New York Post. Influencer Clavicular SHOCKS Logan Paul with extreme penis enhancement technique after bone smashing by Lauren Robinson, Kidslot. Published May 19, 2026, 1:10 p.m. ET. Unpacking looks-maxing star Clavicular from becoming the face of the manosphere to recent legal issues. An influencer has made shocking admissions about his penis that left the podcast host interviewing him stunned. Controversial looks-maxing influencer Braden Eric Peters, who goes by the name of Clavicular, appeared on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, over the weekend. Looks-maxing is a new online trend that sees individuals use self-improvement methods to maximize their appearance, often using extreme and dangerous methods. It's a subculture closely tied to the manosphere, which is a term for online communities with a focus on masculinity. Figures like Clavicular have taken the concept to its most radical lengths, otherwise known as hardmaxing.
Today we're diving into the manosphere and talking about Braden Peters, better known as Clavicular, the 20-year-old looks-maxing celebrity. He's in hot trouble, and with more we've got our senior reporter Mara Siegler. First of all, can you give us a little, layman's definition of what's looks-maxing, what's the manosphere, what's going on here?
So Braden Peters, he's 20, he's kind of the lead guy in this looks-maxing thing. So basically it came out of the manosphere, which you have the Tate brothers are big on. It's kind of just men being like, they don't like women, it's very misogynistic, it can be racist, anti-Semitic, but it's mostly focusing on, anti-women stuff. It's pretty bad.
This macho influencer stuff.
Yes, but there's different subsects of it. Incels are the ones that are involuntarily celibate. They feel like women won't have sex with them, so maybe some anger comes from that. Looks-maxing is kind of a different subset. So these men do have girlfriends. They are people who are really invested in how they look. It's all about the superficial, how to become more muscular, have a better jawline. It's completely looks focused, hence the name looks-maxing.
Yeah, and there's even crazy rumors that they use hammers to break the bones in their face in order to get a better jawline or better cheekbones. Who knows how much of this is actually true?
So that is very much a Clavicular thing. So he's one of the most popular. He's come up with a lot of these terms, is my understanding, and he has said that he's done. So Clavicular is the bone here. That's what he's named after.
Right, the clavicle.
And some of the things that he's claimed to have done are really extreme, from the many bone breaks, which is absolutely not recommended, and nobody should do that, to taking testosterone from the time he was a teenager. So he has said before that he's now infertile.
That's crazy. A teenage boy, a 20-year-old man, they do not need testosterone. They have too much of it.
He's also said that he has taken meth in order to curb his appetite. There's lots of different injections. He's bought different injectables from Chinese sources. I think one of his girlfriends he also injected. He's definitely not a doctor. He's been in a lot of trouble over this stuff. Again, it's very, very extreme ways of body modification.
And it's hard to tell how much of this is internet bluster, how much of this is leading their followers down the wrong paths. The manosphere is all about teaching young men and teenage boys how to be men, but it's done through this lens of these kind of cartoonish caricatures of what it means to be a man.
And it is dangerous because it does involve a lot of these medications where they're self-subscribing. They're making things called stacks where they'll take an NAD plus this, plus that, plus whatever. I mean, this stuff is absolutely very hard on your body, and no one should be doing this, especially not from things that they're just ordering online.
Whatever happened to good old-fashioned steroids?
That's probably in there too. I'm sure that hasn't gone anywhere.
So let's talk about the recent hot water that Clavicular has gotten himself into. He was arrested in Florida for live streaming and allegedly instigating a catfight between his girlfriend, whose name is Violet, and another woman. And he's also in it was done at an Airbnb in Kissimmee, Florida. And then he's also under investigation for shooting an alligator that might have been dead. Of course, this was also on camera. And he's being investigated by wildlife officials in Florida. Maybe the alligator was dead before.
We think it was dead, correct?
I think it was dead.
Okay.
And then last month he was arrested on fake ID charges for being at an Arizona nightclub. I mean, this guy is facing some jail time if all this doesn't work out for him.
He was kicked out of college because someone outed him for having some of these drugs that he uses. He, I believe, on a Twitch or one of these streaming things, had run someone over with his car and was banned from the site for a while. So it's a long list of trouble.
It's safe to say he's a menace to society, online and offline. But page 6 of the New York Post have actually been reporting on some of the troubles he's had at New York Fashion Week and some of these other events. Can you talk about that?
Well, so he was in town in February for New York Fashion Week, and there's a controversial designer, I forget her name, but she had a show at Le Bon at the Standard, and he walked in the show in a ruffly shirt. I think her whole thing is provocation, take that for what you will, dissect it however. So afterwards they wanted to go out on the town, and I mean, the kid's 20,
He's
so
20.
I think it was, they were live streaming on something called Kick, where they were going to the McDonald's, which also doesn't seem very healthy, but they went to a club and someone punched him. I think there was another thing the other week where a girl at a club slapped him. So again, I think these people, their whole thing is being inciting things and being
provocative.
Yeah, provocative.
Absolutely. It's like the Jerry Springer show, but it's happening on Kick and Twitch and on the internet.
And he ended up meeting up with one of the Tate brothers. It might have been both of them. Andrew Tate, who is under investigation in 3 countries for sex trafficking and rape charges. They were hanging out also while he was in New York. But so he's becoming, New York Times did a profile on him. There's been a bunch of different profiles on him. He sort of came on my radar a couple months ago. I think it was, I don't remember the month, but he caused a big stir online because he had gone to a club in Miami with the Tate brothers, with Nick Fuentes, the white supremacist, this guy named Myron Gaines, who's a Holocaust denier. There's another kid named Sneeko, who's also, I don't know particularly what his thing is, but it's in that vein. They went to a club, they were filming it the whole time, and they requested Kanye West banned song that praises Hitler. And then they were filmed, I don't know, the club got in a lot of trouble for playing this song, and they were filmed singing along. Myron Gaines was giving the Heil Hitler symbol. So obviously people got very upset. He since then has, I believe he said in the Times, he's sticking away from politics. Dave Gretman, the big Miami club owner down there, was, tried to be magnanimous, met with him, posted a thing of them together, said I've talked to him. We're trying to talk to him and hopefully have him change his ways, and he told me he's not going to be into politics anymore.
Yeah, Nick
his
Fuentes
thing looks nice.
Yeah, his thing is about being hot, not about being a white supremacist, which which is Nick Fuentes' whole bag,
Yes.
unfortunately.
And I think the hotness is, it's not just for women, it's to out-hot other men. It's called mogging.
Yeah, so there's frame mogging,
Yes.
so I think part of the appeal of all of this is that it's created a whole Gen Z new vocabulary. So there's all these crazy, portmanteaus that the looks maxing world has created, where mogging is when you out-hot someone, you're better looking, you're standing next to someone and you're hotter than them, and Clavicular recently said, don't go to the Netherlands, you will be mogged. Everyone there, all the men there are tall and handsome, and you will be out-hotted, and there's this idea of frame mogging where if you appear on camera with someone, and one person, I'm clearly getting frame mogged right now, va va boom, if one person is just, better looking than you, then it's like humbling, it puts you in your place. But there's also ways to mog that don't involve looks. There's gesture maxing.
Yeah, I don't know what that one is.
Gesture maxing, I think, is when you act goofy in order to, as a power play,
Okay.
and it's considered not, I think, a very manly or masculine thing to do to kind of goof it up. I guess I'm gesture maxing as much as possible all the time,
Okay.
but good luck trying to figure out all of this
So
stuff.
there is it's been really popular on Netflix, the new Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary. Clavicular is not in that one. Myron Gaines, the nightclub guy, he's in that, and there's some other ones I never heard of before. But
H.S. Tiki-Taki.
Yes.
So feuded with Piers Morgan. He's just a good old-fashioned misogynist, sexist, dirtbag.
And lots of anti-Semitism, which is noted at the end of the documentary. It's like the whole thing is disturbing because they are getting a lot of young men online to follow them.
I mean, it's sort of like what happens when the internet troll goes to the gym. It's like two toxic worlds kind of combined, and this is what we have, and we're now dealing with it.
It seems like his actions are catching up to him.
Yeah, and so we'll keep everyone updated on this developing story and what happens with this Airbnb viral cat fight that he's been arrested for. And
Controversial looks-maxing influencer Braden Eric Peters, who goes by the name of Clavicular, appeared on Logan Paul's podcast Impulsive over the weekend. Image source, Impulsive, YouTube. Looks-maxing is a new online trend that sees individuals use self-improvement methods to maximize their appearance, often using extreme and dangerous methods. Image source, Clavicular, Instagram. Throughout the interview, Clavicular reveals a new region of his body that he has begun to target. Previously, the 20-year-old admitted to using bone smashing, a technique in which he used a hammer to smash bones in his cheeks and jawline to reshape his face. Clavicular revealed to Paul and his co-host, Mike Majlak, that he has been doing penis enhancement for some time now, using weighted shopping bags. Can you elaborate? Paul asked the influencer. Throughout the interview, Clavicular reveals a new region of his body that he has begun to target. Image source, Impulsive, YouTube. Production members quickly located a shopping bag so that viewers were able to have a PG-rated demonstration. You just put stuff in here, various items, and you wrap it around your wrist like this. Then you're basically holding onto your suspensory ligament and stretching, the influencer explained. He then told the hosts, I would do this while I was driving. Your commitment to the game is admirable, Paul told the influencer after a short moment of stunned silence. Clavicular revealed to Paul and his co-host, Mike Majlak, that he has been doing PE, penis enhancement, for some time now, using weighted shopping bags. Image source, Impulsive, YouTube. Clavicular reports that he noticed improvement from what is considered penis maxing, alongside taking injections and medication, but not without hiccups. He reports that the 3-rection angle will lower a bit. However, in his case, he was already above the ideal. In another startling admission, Clavicular revealed that he would build his confidence by cold approaching strangers while having an 3-rection. The fact you're able to say it so straight-faced is mind-blowing, but I agree with you, Majlak commented. Paul immediately disagreed. This is above me. This is crazy. Medical professionals have long advised against the practices that Clavicular advocates for, referring to the practice as dangerous. During a 60-minute segment in which Clavicular stormed out of an interview, aesthetic surgeon Angie Taurus described the trend as shocking. There's just absolutely no scientific evidence behind most of the things that they are talking about, she told the program. Clinical psychologist Zach Seiler also told the show that he found the practice really concerning and nihilistic. Medical professionals have long advised against the practices that Clavicular advocates for, referring to the practice as dangerous. Image source, Instagram/Clavicular0. It's all about winning and competitiveness, and really sadly, what it leads to is self-destruction, he told 60 Minutes. However, it was a wild would-you-rather answer from Clavicular that Paul quickly labeled crazy. When asked if he'd rather have hair or a functioning penis, he selected hair, because in his opinion, the average person doesn't meet Jason Statham's level of looks when bald. You're gonna have this bald head and a functional dick, but it's gonna be over for you when you've got no one you can use it on besides your hand, he said. Clavicular attends the McLaren event at CC Rooftop Social Club on May 1st, 2026 in Miami, Florida. Image source, Michelle Eve Sandberg, Shutterstock. He left the comment section on the post in a state of disagreement. No man would do this trade-off. No man, wrote one person.
Hushed voice.